Good morning, Bates. It is Friday, Mr. Fonseca, the end of the week. How you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic, Mr. Softic. How about yourself?
Good, good. I bittersweet. Today's Friday. We have the weekend to rest and relax after a hard, week of work. But and it's also the last day of, Isabindi week.
That's right. But even though
So
it's the last day of Inzibindi week, the values of Inzibindi are values that we carry inside of us each and every day, right, Mr. Softic?
absolutely at the core of the heart, right here,
Exactly.
bleeding green here. Um, Yeah, so obviously bravery and courage, that's something we've been promoting all week, but all year long as well. So yesterday we asked about, what are some things that you have done this year that have promoted courage or have showcased bravery? And so we sent your teachers a Padlet, and I know some of you have participated in that. We want to share some of those responses. So
That's right.
Mr. Fonseca is going to bring that up.
Yep. So we're just going to pick there's so many student names, and we wish we could read everybody's story right now, but because we can't, we're going to pick them out randomly. So, if you get picked this time to read, awesome. If you don't, it's okay. Just the fact that you're willing to put your story out there is really exciting. So let's pick someone at random. And here, Benjamin in kindergarten. Overcame my fear of heights by telling myself that everything's going to be fine. That's a great way to go about it, Benjamin. Absolutely. Whenever you're afraid of doing something, just telling yourself, like, hey, it's going to be fine. It's going to be okay. That's a great way of doing it. Perfect. All right, let's pick another random one.
Look at that. Stay strong. It just makes me laugh. I don't know. I don't know if that has anything to do with bravery or courage, but yeah, stay strong.
That's
And he's
right.
got the
Not be,
green. He's got the green. Three-quarter baseball sleeve. So I really like that. Yep.
a little bit of Isabindi
Yep.
represented. Yep.
Love it.
And this was Will from 5S here saying, not being afraid of COVID, but embracing it. So knowing that we're in this situation of the coronavirus and as much as possible, not being afraid of it. Okay. Also, at the same time, you can be brave, and at the same time, make sure you're careful as well, and you're following all precautions, especially when it comes to COVID.
Yeah, there's a few here. Getting tested for COVID. That's certainly scary.
Yep.
Opportunity, but you get through it and you feel safe. So I know that I see a lot of those. And absolutely,
Yeah.
that can be scary. That process.
Absolutely. Tamsin in grade 2, as well as Harmony in grade 3, bravery with the COVID test. Absolutely.
Lily S. and talking about trying to make a new friend.
Absolutely.
That's always tough to do. Right, it takes a lot of bravery. I
Things.
can remember when I first went to college. I didn't know anyone. So that was always difficult. How do you start a conversation with someone you never talked to before?
Exactly. And that's something we talked about all week is making the new friends, talking to new people. That's definitely challenging, but we appreciate the courage that it takes to do it. All right, maybe we'll do two more and then we'll wrap up. So let's see. Manu here saying tasting a new food that you've never had before, and that's absolutely right. Even something so simple as trying a new food, you have to be a little bit brave to do it. Definitely. You want to pick the last one, Mr. Softic?
Yeah, let's go with having surgery on my tonsils
Ooh,
during the pandemic. Wow, that was a loaded one, huh?
yeah,
You
absolutely.
ever
So,
had any surgery, Mr. Fonseca?
any surgery? No, I don't think. Actually, yes, one time I did get a really deep like cut on my head as a kid from getting knocked over by my dog, and I had to have not even stitches, but staples, like they stapled.
Mm-hmm.
But I was fine. But it took bravery to rush into the emergency room and do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yes. Eliana in grade 1, thank you for sharing that experience. And we appreciate for everyone that we couldn't read your stories. Thank you for sharing them. We will, find some way to have your stories recognized, even if teachers just want to take different moments throughout the day and just pause the screen and, read one at random. We'll find different ways to make sure that your stories are recognized and valued. So thank you.
Awesome. I'm so proud of everybody for sharing. It takes a lot of bravery to share that, right? Share something like that. That's very personal.
Absolutely does.
That was awesome. So thank you to everyone who did share. As Mr. Fonseca said, I'll definitely read through those, and it puts a big smile on my face to see all that bravery here at Bates.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you for being brave enough to share your stories. Like Mr.
Hmm.
Softic said, that takes bravery in and of itself.
Absolutely. Mr. Fonseca, what else we got going on?
Well, other things that take bravery coming up in February, it is Black History Month.
Hmm.
So it's the month that we celebrate people of color who have made, huge important contributions to our country. And we also recognize ways that they have been and continue to be treated unfairly in our country and our world today. And a lot of these people that we'll be discussing starting on Monday and also different points in the year that your teachers may have already been discussing with you had to show a lot of bravery to stand up against things that just were not right. So keeping in mind as we're going into February, but also not only just February, every single month throughout the year on different, days, remember that it's not just February that we appreciate what any group did. It's throughout the entire year. We appreciate everything that these, people of color have done for their country and have done for others.
Yeah, and obviously we learned about Dr. Martin Luther King, right? Was that 2 weeks ago,
I think it
or was it
was
last week? 2 weeks ago? Maybe it might have been last week.
maybe it
All he did for the civil rights movement, you know, standing up against discrimination, which is when you treat someone differently because of their skin color or because of anything, but
was.
because they're different. Those differences are something we celebrate. It's not something that we look down upon,
That's
right?
right.
And so obviously a wonderful man and everything that he's done for a lot of people in our country. Um, and so maybe we'll learn a little bit more about him this month. Um, one of my someone I always looked up to, Hank Aaron. He passed away actually this week, but he was a baseball player in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, and he went through a lot of racism going from city to city, especially in some of those southern states. But did got through it with his actions and not his words. I mean, I'm sorry, with his words and not his actions, right?
That's right.
So it's really important that we always want to promote nonviolence.
Yeah.
Stand up for something with your words, but not with your fists, or something like that. And I think that's what Dr. Martin Luther King and other strong Black leaders have done throughout history.
Yeah. So we definitely want to make sure that, throughout the school year, teachers and students are getting a chance to talk about how different individuals, the different people of color had to overcome discrimination and different ways that they took bravery to do it. And also different ways that we can make sure that we're appreciating and being inclusive and welcoming to everyone in our entire community, no matter race, color, ethnicity, background, no matter those factors, we want to make sure that we're welcoming, inclusive, and to everyone in our community.
Yep, absolutely. So if you see it, stop it right with your words. Say that's not okay. That's not okay, and that's how it's going to end. Okay. So Mr. Fonseca, it is Friday morning. We got to get to work, right?
That's right.
Anything else you want to add before we take it away?
Make sure that if you're going outside, whether you're a student that's in person at Bates or whether you're a student that's doing remote school from home but going outside to play, at home, you want to make sure that you're bundling up because the weather, it is really cold and it is really wet. So make sure you're bundling up and staying warm.
All right. So Team Isabini right here. Is a what?
Yeah.
Former 2019 House champions. Don't forget it. All right. All right. So that's gonna wrap things up for us today. And as always, it's a great day to be great.